Man, oh man, it's been a minute since I made a video, but I'm still collecting games. I just took a few months break after completing the N64 Complete in Box quest, but I have a pile of stuff here that I've been collecting a little bit since the beginning of the new year, so let's check it out. Alright, we'll start off with the very first pickup of the year. The first game I got was Adventure Island 4. This is a Japanese and European exclusive. It never came out in the States. The States only got Adventure Island 1, 2, and 3. So this game is actually pretty rare and it cost me about $140. But you don't see it very often and I thought it was pretty cool to pick it up. Adventure Island 4 is a lot like the other Adventure Island games, but it came out really late in the Famicom library in 1994, so it's got better graphics, better controls, but it feels like the other games. Next up for Famicom, I got DuckTales 2. Now, in Japan, this only cost me about $35. Obviously, the stateside version costs a lot more, so just to play the game until I get the actual game complete in box one day, I thought $35 was a pretty good price. Next up is a game I haven't heard of before, and that game is Layla. This is an interesting game I've never seen before. Layla was developed by DBsoft and published in 1986. Layla is inspired by an anime series of the same name. For a platforming game from 1986, it's not bad. You start off the game searching for your friend. There are a whole host of weapons and power-ups you can find along the way. You have anything from guns to grenades to axes and knives. Most of the weapons are limited in ammo though. It starts off fairly easy but gets harder in later levels. You can easily get lost in later levels as it is a maze action game. It says so on the label. The controls aren't bad, especially for an older game. The game starts out with some great music, but it drops off after the title screen and becomes repetitive loops. The game also has bonus stages which are shoot 'em up levels. You ride a space bike and shoot enemies for points. However, the points don't do anything for you. After you beat a level, you get a password, which is super long. Living in Japan for almost 7 years, this is the first copy I've ever seen of the game. So I'm pretty happy to find an uncommon Japanese exclusive game for $25. And since the Wii U is phasing out, I found some pretty good deals on some Wii U games, and these are the US versions. All these were 50% off. First one up is Paper Mario. This ended up being about $23. Bayonetta 2, which was about $12. I got a big box copy of Yoshi's Woolly World for $20. And I found a big box copy of Twilight Princess HD for $30. And I looked online, these are going for about $80, $90 now. So $30 is a pretty good deal for this. Moving on, I found a Nintendo Switch Mario Kart steering wheel with pedals, and I think this is a Japanese exclusive, and it released really late considering how long ago the game released. So I'm thinking this might be pretty uncommon down the road. So that's why I picked it up. Next up, I got a Nintendo 64. Now you might wonder why in the world would I buy a loose N64 console? And that's because this one came with the Hawks N64 controller, and this whole setup was $60 and the controller can go for that alone. So I eventually want to get 4 of these controllers for the console, and that's why I picked this up for $60 total. And since we're on the subject of N64 consoles, I finally got the last 2 Japanese N64 consoles I need, which were the Clear Red Complete in Box and the Orange Pikachu Complete in Box. Now I have the entire Japanese set, which is pretty cool. One game I'm a huge fan of on the NES is Metal Storm. And one thing Limited Run Games came out with was a Metal Storm Collector's Edition, which comes with a figure and a game, which is pretty cool. So I had to pick this up when I saw it. I'm really excited about this. As you may or may not know, one thing I really like collecting is PC Engine consoles, complete in box. And one that's evaded me for a really long time is the PC Engine Duo. Now I have the Duo, I have the Duo RX, but this one has always seemed to evade me. So now I finally have a PC Engine Duo complete in box. Next up on the list is a Switch game, Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, I probably wasn't going to talk about this, but I've actually been playing through this game. I'm on the last level right now as we speak. It's a really fun game. I'm really glad I picked this up, and I've almost finished the game. So if you're a fan of Luigi's Mansion, check this game out. Last but not least is Super Mario Sunshine Complete in Case for the GameCube. Now, I used to have this game before, but when I was completing the N64 library, I sold a lot of GameCube games to help fund that collection, and I'm going back now and buying those GameCube games back. And this one surprisingly jumped double in price. I think it was a $30 game or so when I sold it, and now it's going for about $60 in mint condition. So I ended up losing out on this one a little bit, but I'm glad to have it back in the collection. Well, that's it for my 2020 pickups. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll be bringing you more videos like this. Until next time, I'm Wayne, and thanks for watching.